Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I'm happy to see familiar faces, and for those who are new, welcome. I'm Olivia Rios, Director of Operations and Programs at the Alley Latino Chamber. And today I'm delighted to not only be here with you, but also we have some phenomenal speakers. We have 4 panel speakers today. Valerie Rivas, Vice President of Biz Community Officer, and Carlos Gonzalez, Vice President of Small Business Banker, and both are from Bank of America. And from JDX is Dan Pereira, CEO and founder, and Joaquin Barba, Vice President of Business Development. Today's webinar is Boost Your Business with Mobile Apps and Software Development. Some of the key takeaways from today's session will be you'll learn about mobile apps and software development, including AI and how it can enhance your business. Learn what lenders are looking in a business application from experts at Bank of America. And also, we'll be exploring access to capital options to fund your tech projects and what they're looking for on an application, and also alternative funding options when you're not approved by the bank. I'll have each of the panel speakers introduce themselves, but before we start, we'd like to ask you to mute yourselves. We'd like to ask if you have any questions, write them in the chat box, and also feel free to write your name and company name to let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to know where you're coming from. And after our session, I'll be sharing some of our upcoming events. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to our panel. So I'd like to introduce Dan. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. My name is Dan Pereira, the CEO and founder of JX. I've been working in the tech industry for last 20 odd years, helping businesses use technology to solve everyday challenges. At JX, we focus on creating easy to use digital solutions that make a real difference for our clients and to their customers as well across various industries. I'm excited to be here today to share more about how we can help your business to grow and succeed in today's digital world. Having said that, I would like to pass the baton to Joaquin, my colleague. Joaquin?
My name is Joaquin Barba, Vice President of Business Development for JX. A little bit about myself. I've been doing business development for the last 20 odd years. I strive to help clients get to know them a little better and really get to know what's important for their business and help them grow into the next step, especially in this new technology era that is ever changing. And, it's the next big thing to make a business grow and really explode in what their next step is. So I really love to get to know everyone's business and a little bit about themselves as well. And I'll turn it over to Carlos from Bank of America.
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Carlos Gonzalez. I'm a Vice President Small Business Banker with Bank of America. I've been with the bank for over 18 years, 10 of which I spent specifically working with many small business owners, like many of the folks on the call today, not only helping them with their day-to-day banking needs, but also helping them get access to capital to fund new projects, whether it's to purchase commercial real estate, equipment, or in this case, the funding of software development or a mobile app. So I'm excited that Dan and Joaquin have joined us today. So thank you so much for the partnership. And I'm excited to let you know how we can help you fund these projects as well. And I'll hand it over to Valerie.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Valerie Rivas. I'm Vice President for Business Community Engagement here in Southern California and Los Angeles County area. And as a business community officer, what I do day to day, I provide financial literacy workshops like today and webinars. I also provide resources that Bank of America has, and then also our nonprofit partners. And in addition to that, access to capital options beyond to what we have to offer here at the bank. In addition to that, I do sit on a few nonprofit boards that all support entrepreneurs and business owners like yourself. But here internally at Bank of America, I sit on the board for Better Money Habits, which is driving financial literacy throughout Los Angeles. And I'm also part of the Hispanic Latino Business Council here in Bank of America. And what we do there at the Hispanic Business Council is we drive different initiatives throughout Los Angeles to make sure that we are supporting our Latino community. I am Latina, so that's a passion of mine, making sure that my Hispanic community is thriving. If I can get a sense of who I have here today, please put your information as far as your business, your name, and then what it is that you do. Not only will it probably give you an opportunity to maybe network with somebody who's here today with somebody like-minded like yourself, but also will give us a sense of who we have here today and how we might be able to support you better. Now, let's get into accessing capital. Today, we're going to do the 6 C's of credit. So we are going to get into what banks take a look at when looking at a business application. So we're going to talk about the factors that truly influence capital, capacity and capital, collateral conditions, character and communication. And of course, we're going to recap at the end and take any questions that you may have. Now, when it comes to the 6 C's of credit, the first 5, you'll see that these are very important when it comes to actually looking at a business application. And you may find yourself, whether you're first starting off, maybe you have an idea. Today, we have our partners at JX that do mobile and software development, including AI, that you may want to look for some sort of capital options because you want to get your business to the next level. So being able to pay attention to the first 5 C's of credit and then also incorporating the 6th C, which is communication, is very crucial for your business to be able to get approved with the banks. Now, you may be asking yourself, why would I want to be approved with the banks when this other company over here or this other lender, they only need my first name, last name, social security, and they can go ahead and give me the funding that you need. Now, why would you want to do that? You want to get approved by the major banks because we're going to give you the best available rates in the industry and also the best available terms. Now, I wanted to give you some stats. We are in the Los Angeles Latino Chamber. So every year, we do something called the Business Owner Report. And the reason we do that is we want to get to know what our clients are, their aspirations, their goals, any type of concerns, economic concerns especially, but more than anything, just how we can serve them better. Now, we do a general business owner report, and then we also do a women and minority owner report. And the reason that we do that is because we want to gain our clients' unique perspectives, their diverse perspectives, and see how we can serve them better because they may have challenges that maybe others are not having. So we want to make sure that we serve them better. Now, let me tell you, in our latest 2024 Women and Minority Owner Business Owner Report that we found, and we have a full report at bankofamerica.com, but I'm just going to give you a couple of stats. So our Hispanic community actually is looking to increase their revenue by 82%. 82% of our clients are looking to increase revenue. Now, how do you do that? Typically, getting access to capital to be able to get you to the next level. We all know that it takes money to make money, right? So access to capital will actually be one of the ways that you would be able to increase your revenue. The other thing is 94% of our Hispanic business owners here at Bank of America are actually looking for access to capital options. So that's huge. So that is a huge population of our Hispanic community that is actually looking for access to capital. They're actually one of the fastest growing also business owners right now also. And then versus 71% of our general population or our general survey that we do throughout the country are, so 94% versus 71%. So you're definitely in the right place today to learn more and how you can get approved for a loan application. Now, let me give you a brief overview of what the 6 C's of credit look like. Capacity, capital, collateral, conditions, character, and very important one that we just added not too long ago, communication. Capacity is one of the first things that we take a look at. Now, I would probably agree that everybody here is in the business to make money. I don't think we go into business to lose money. We go into business to make money. So what does this mean? You have to be able to show profits and your capacity to be able to repay the lender. So what is it that we're looking for? Ideally, as a bank, we would want to see, and this is not just Bank of America, okay? I know I'm representing Bank of America, but this is just overall. Banks want to kind of see that you are able to provide $1.25 of excess cash flow for every $1 that you have of debt. Another way that we could look at this is, let's just say that you're borrowing $100,000, and let's just say that your payment is $1,000. Now, that doesn't mean that that's what your payment will be. Just for the sake of an example, borrowing $100,000, $1,000 is your actual payment. We want to see that you're able to repay us 1.25 times. So we want you to be able to see that payment 1.25 times. Because why do we do that? We want to give you some cushion as far as any additional expenses that you may have, and also any unexpected expenses as well. We want to make sure that you are set up for success to protect you and also protect the bank. Number 2 is capital, or I like to call it money in the bank. How much retained earnings are you actually keeping out of your revenue? So essentially, as a banker, you come in and you let me know that you want to borrow $1 million, let's just say, or your revenue is $1 million. Sorry, your revenue is $1 million, and I would probably want to say at least $50,000 in your business account in order for us to feel comfortable. Now, you may say, why would we need money if we need money in the bank? Well, this is the way that banks take a look at it. We want to be able to see reserves and also the way that you are able to retain the business earnings. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Carlos to talk about collateral and conditions.
Thank you, Valerie. And thanks for all the information that you shared about the Latino Business Owner Report. And like Valerie mentioned, a lot of Latinos are out there. We want to apply for business loans. And I mean, this information is great because it's really, whether it's Bank of America or any other bank, this is kind of like the cheat sheet. This is what all the, in a summary, what most approval officers are looking at. So these are pretty much the answers to the test. So this is great information. Hopefully you guys find it useful. Valerie shared the first 2 C's. The third C that we look at is collateral. So what can your business offer to secure that loan? So in case you're unable to repay it, what can you offer us that the bank can fall back on? So really the collateral piece depends on the type of loan that you get. Say, for example, you're purchasing a building, the most common collateral for that is going to be the actual real estate. Or if you're going to purchase a car with the loan, then the collateral would be the cars. In this case, for example, if you do want to invest in software development or a mobile application, then there's different types of collateral there. But most commonly, what we'll see is like an all business asset link. So the different assets that the business has, that's something that we can use for collateral. And collateral is important because it's our secondary source of repayment. So in case your business does not pay, is there something else that the bank can fall back on to recuperate the money that we lent to you? The other C2 is conditions. So conditions is very important, and this is overall market conditions. So where, depending on the type of industry you are, there's certain things that may affect your business. So for example, think of when we had the pandemic, there were some businesses that were, prior to the pandemic, were doing party rentals, or were renting chairs, tents, things like that. So during the economy, there weren't a lot of events going on. So those businesses were having a hard time. So that's what we refer to as economic conditions. So even though the business had been very successful, during that time, it was challenging to lend to that type of business because of the current market conditions. But don't let that discourage you. If your business is different, and sometimes those market conditions can actually help you out. In that event the company that I mentioned that was doing party rentals, some of those companies actually did very well and even better during the pandemic because they were able to rent out tents and chairs and tables for outdoor dining, which was really big during that time. So again, conditions is very important. So be ready to address that. If you do apply for a loan and there's something that you know is affecting your particular industry, be ready to talk about that and let us know how your business is different. Valerie, I'll hand it back to you for the last 2.
All right, so character. This has to do with your type of work experience. We want to know if you have experience in the industry that you're in, especially if you're just starting out or it's something that you're taking over. We want to know what kind of experience you have in the industry that you're going into. So what are some things that we may take a look at? Your personal credit history. Why? Because if you don't have that much business credit history, most likely the way that you use your personal credit is most likely how you're going to use your business credit, your past interactions with lenders, and borrowers' work experience. So we want to know maybe where you went to high school, where you went to high school, when you went to college, where did you graduate? If you're a CPA, where did you get your certification? We would want to know those type of things, any type of references that can help the application, also your credentials, and then also your overall reputation. I've seen it many times where maybe there is something linked to the business because something that was done unethical. Unfortunately, what would happen is that creates a risk. And so we would have to decline the loan application because of character. So there was a situation out at a farm, and where they were making a lot of money and lots of profits, but they were not paying for any water. So they were actually getting water from the city without paying for it. So what ended up happening, they were being sued by the city. And that's actually what they needed the loan for, so that they could actually pay the city because they were not paying for the water. So those are some type of things that could actually ruin this loan application because of your character. Also, communication is the last one, and this is actually a very important one. Don't just communicate with your accountant or banker on a yearly basis when you are going to do your taxes, or just when you need a loan or something from your banker. I encourage you to always have open communication with your accountant and then also your business banker. If you don't have an accountant that likes to meet with you or a business banker, I encourage you to find another one that is open to have that relationship, because those are two strategic partners that can help you as far as getting to the next level for your business. Now, hopefully, with all the information that we gave you today, you are able to know the information of what you need to do in order for you to be able to be successful and get lending through the major banks, the traditional banks. Now, if you're not able to get lending through the traditional banks, I don't want you to be discouraged, because there is actually other ways that you'd be able to get funding. And I wanted to go through those resources very quickly before we open it up for questions and before we have our partners talk about what their service is and how they can get you to the next level for your business. Now, I wanted to bring up a couple of things that Bank of America is doing for the community. One of them is a $25,000 down payment assistance grant. This is for you to buy a commercial property and put in your business into a commercial property. So we are helping out with up to $25,000 in order for us to be able to get you into a commercial property. This is for our women and minority-owned businesses. So if you know anybody that might be interested, or yourself, please let us know. Carlos would be happy to share how we can get you into that program. In addition to that, I did mention that we do a business owner report. So our clients, we heard them loud and clear. They said we weren't able to get approved. So where do we go? You don't tell us where to go. So in honor of that, we were able to create the Access to Capital Directory for entrepreneurs. This is actually available to the public. You don't have to bank with us in order to have access to this information. And here you will see different types of funding in this directory. So you can see CDFIs, which are community development financial institutions. If you're not familiar with them, I encourage you to get familiar with them, because they're actually there to foster economic growth in our different communities. So they're able to do loans in a non-traditional way, take projections, and take different types of documentation in order for you to get approved. And there's also venture capital, angel investors, grants, loan funds, crowd funds. I think our partners will talk a little bit about Uber and how they came about and their original investment. They probably didn't go through a bank, or they probably didn't go through a CDFI. They probably went through an angel investor or a venture capital, because it was a huge initial investment. So if you have an idea or anything like that, let's talk about it. Let's see how we can get you the funding. And then this year, in 2024, we went a step further for our clients. You can now leverage the Access to Capital Connector, and you go to www.accesstocapitalconnector.com. You fill out a small application, and then we go ahead and connect you to a coach. You go ahead and choose your technical assistant or your type of coaching program that you're comfortable with. And then one of our nonprofit partners will reach out to you to be able to coach you and to where you can get the access to capital that you need. And I will go ahead and pass it back over to Olivia. And I'm really excited for this next part.
Okay. Before we move on, I do have a quick question. Can you share what an opportunity zone is? Because I saw it that you're able to provide grants if you're in a given area, but can you clarify what opportunity zone is?
Yes, so those are the zones that are underrepresented, and also those areas are not getting as much lending. And it could be maybe because they may not have their things together as far as the documentation and things like that. So then we would be able to get the resources that we have available so that we can get them with coaching and we can get them up to par to their business.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
And then Valerie, just if I can add to that, for the $25,000 down payment grant that Valerie initially mentioned, that one's actually very easy to determine the zone. It's all of LA County. So if you're a minority business owner, minority or woman-owned business that owns at least 51% of the business, and you're purchasing commercial real estate in LA County, you're eligible for the $25,000 grant. So that one is a lot easier to determine what areas are eligible. All you have to do is LA County.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And so now I'd like to introduce our new folks at JX. So they are a cutting-edge company specializing in AI-driven innovation that is transforming industries through advanced mobile applications, web applications, and software solutions. So they are also empowering companies to stay ahead of the digital game with real live world applications across mobile apps and software development. So let's dive in and learn how JX Technology is leading the future of AI. So welcome, Dan and Joaquin.
Thank you, Olivia, for that introduction. Briefly, I'll go over what our agenda will look like today. I'll talk about a little bit about our company, the first few slides, and then right after that, Dan will take over and he'll explain in detail a little more about what our company offers and what we could do for your business. So today I'm excited to share with you our company JX, with our innovative solutions that could revolutionize your business and how you can improve your business. Our company has been around for 8 years, and we have experience over 20 years in the industry. We've been part of projects in Australia, Asia, Europe, and as well as the US, helping clients leverage their technology and enhance their business. And how do we do this? With a human approach. We focus on what's important for you and your business, and we help you build a digital experience to grow your business. We're committed to be there every step of the way, from the year 1 to year 30. It's and see what's the next big step in your company, from developing a mobile app to maybe adding AI integrations into your business. So how do we do this? Let's say, to give you an example, we have a company that you have a warehouse facility distribution center that's in Southern California, Arizona, and Nevada. And you're looking for that next big idea to maybe revolutionize that industry, to go from getting an order in to getting it out in the next 2 to 3 days, to maybe changing that into maybe in the next hour or two, an order goes in and it gets the distribution center gets it and it's out in the next few hours, right? Our idea is to have that pen and paper idea that you may think that it's not going to change your business or it's impossible to help you change your business. We're here to make that into a reality. We're here to make that into maybe the next Uber, right? That was just maybe an idea that nobody thought you could change the transportation era, that did, or Amazon, that who would have thought that having an app that has a whole bunch of companies and distributing everything out there would actually change the industry, which now it has, right? We're here to make that change, right? And you may think it's not an idea that could change a business, but we're here to make you change maybe your industry into that next step that you may think it's impossible, but now with technology, it is a reality. And I'll switch over to Dan, and he'll talk about our products and services that we offer.
Thank you very much, Joaquim, for a great introduction of the company and what we offer. Excuse me. There are 8 high-level services that you can see here, from software development all the way to mobile apps. In between, you can see product design. We'll dive into this individually in detail level: product design, usability, product management, AI, data management, data governance, infrastructure, and making sure when we do deliver that we deliver with quality and assurance with it. Let's go to the next slide, Valerie. Thank you very much. Whenever we talk to a client about, when you use the word software, everyone's like, oh my God, software development, it's just too crazy. It's just technical. It is actually not. When we say software development, it's like a simple booking system. It is still a software. And a ERP, which is Enterprise Resource Programming or Processing, which all the large organizations use to do their day-to-day work. We call it automation sometimes. So everything is the software we built with some algorithms. That's what software is. So in this slide, I want to talk about, from a booking system, how we can go all the way to a enterprise resource programming, or CRM, so client resource management, right? So let's say that I'll give an example. We have a client in Riverside. They've been using a PDF basically to they have 80 distributors across the country, and they've been using PDF that they email to their distributors. They fill up their form, they email back to them, then the sales print it out and sign it, and then they go to the production house, and it's very manual, right? So they came to us and said, oh, can you reprogram the PDF in Adobe, because Adobe Acrobat does that PDFs, right? So we actually proposed them, why are you doing this? And it will be much cheaper and faster to create a simple booking ordering system, ordering form online. And they were like, oh, we didn't know that it is possible. So we said, of course it is possible. And believe it or not, we designed the entire form. We created multiple emails now, and we did that in 4 weeks. And at the moment, what they do is the whole 80 distributors using with a single login, they go into the form, they put all the information they need with the parameters they have, and they simply press a button says submit. When you press that button submit, it actually creates 2 emails. One PDF goes to the distributor, one PDF goes to the sales team. So sales teams actually start processing the order and goes to the production team now. And they do it now within seconds, where they took such a long time to kind of do that process. I just wanted to give you an example, so how simple things can be when it comes to software development. From something like that, all the way to, let's take an example, all the way to a business that actually have clients registering for themselves, and they do tasks per each client. So that means your staff has to keep a track of each client, their information, and also the projects or the tasks that they're supposed to do. You keep a track of it. And also the managers and the supervisors, also the admins, can keep a track of each staff, what they're doing, how far they have done, and when they're completing it, as well as when they complete the task, you can make the payment as well. So all this can be done in a single software. We call it a web application. It can be a software application. Don't be intimidated by the terminologies. So that's what we are here for. If you're intimidated about it, simply ask, what does this mean? So we will simplify it and explain it to you how quickly and easily we can do these things. Yes, you can see some of these technical terminologies like front-end web software or back-end software, architecture, design and planning, and technical. They are all part of what we do when we are completing a project. So you can also go in and read about these terminologies so you can be more tech savvy or technologically knowledgeable about it. Product design and usability also related to software and app development. But we actually take work just to do the design and usability. What does that mean? Let's say that you have an existing product. We call it a product as in like a software or a mobile application, but it's not doing so well. It's crashing, it's slow, and doesn't look good, for example. And what we do is we come in and we do an evaluation and we do an audit. So when we do that, we understand what we see is actually desirable to the user. And also what we don't see is, which is the backend, which is the actual coding or the programs or algorithms are functioning and written properly. So when we do that audit, we understand what is the biggest problem they have. And we are being very honest with all our clients. That's why they love us. We are not going to propose, oh, let's build a new one, which is going to cost you this much. No, you don't have to do that. What you can do is, first we will give them an option to improve what it is in the current state to be a better used or a usable product. Let's do this. These are the low-hanging fruits that we can attack to. So let's do that and see how we can do it, unless you have a budget or you have a scope that you would really want to rebuild this and revamp this entire thing. So we can go either way, and we are here to help you and be honest with you. So that way we'll get out a best solution for yourself and for your customers as well. Product management, what does this really means? That means we can also offer you managing your product. When we say product, it is a digital product. It can be your mobile application. It can be your internal software. It can be a website application or a website from an e-commerce perspective, from a logistic perspective. It could be anything, but we can manage that product. We can manage that software. We will make sure that every single time you want to scale it, when I say scaling it, add a new feature, add a new functionality. When you really need to do that, you need to manage it, whether we are actually delivering the right outcomes for your users. So we manage that. Product management, when you say product, it's digital products. But in our industry, everything that we do is called, it's a product. So we manage them as well. Artificial intelligence or AI. Isn't that what everyone's talking these days? What is AI? What is not AI? Can we use it? We can't use it, or I'm intimidated.
I have a question. Can you share a couple of examples of how JX has helped companies improve like their operational efficiency or some of the challenges that you've been able to resolve for them?
Sure, Olivia, thank you so much for that question. So I'm going to take a insurance company and who are based in London. It's called Bupa. They had an operational, not just operational, they had a more holistic challenge. They're a health insurer, and 33% of their customers were baby boomers. And they were premium customers who were paying the top dollar for their health insurances. And they actually do have presence in Australia as well. And suddenly everyone was leaving them, canceling their health insurance, because of course in Australia it's not a compulsory to have health insurance, and so there's a good public system as well. But they didn't want to lose the big chunk of their customers, and they were trying to figure out why they're leaving. So we came in, and then we actually did a research on all the processes they have, as well as we did a research with their customers. And we went and asked them, why are you leaving them? What's the problem and what's going on? So after we did extensive research, we found out the simple term they said was that there is no love. We were trying to figure out what does it mean. They said, Bupa's not looking after us. We've been paying them for premium dollar for all our life. We've been healthy. We were probably one of the healthiest generations, maybe, but we're not getting anything back. So then what we did was we came up with an idea within their mobile app how to create a rewards program from the premium memberships or premiums that they're paying. So we create a solution within that. We call it like a water tap, like a tap for health. So they get rewards every month for activities they do and keep themselves healthy, because the idea is to keep humans healthy. So we created something like that. It went really, really well, received really well. And we improved the operations internally. We improved the customer satisfaction, customer experiences as well. And also we redesigned that redesign the mobile application for them so it's easy on the eye. We think of the accessibility. That means like if you're a disabled or an older person who can't see properly, so you're wearing glasses. So we add those features into the mobile app as well. Yeah, that was a success story. Thank you, Olivia. Hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I was listening. I end up jotting down a couple others because I feel so, I'm that person who asks the questions no one wants to ask, right? But so how do you guys stay ahead of the trends to make sure that some of the companies are scalable or that you're scalable?
So the way that we keep ahead of the curve is always making sure that number one, we always attend the latest industry events and conferences out there. So I travel to San Francisco, I travel globally to make sure that what's happening in which part of the world. I'll give you a little example of it. We are rather planning, we are already working with a startup that who's going to build a wearable for pregnancies. So during somebody's pregnant, so it'll detect a lot of things. That's all I can share for now. So for that particular project, we have started about 3 months ago an extensive research on what Europe is doing, how the biotech industry innovations and innovativeness in Europe, Asia, then Australasia, right? Even South America and North America. We don't stop just at US soil. We actually expand our research on what everyone else is doing. How can we leverage that technology and bring it here? And then we build it in here. You're not going to outsource to build it. How can we build it here in this soil? So in US soil. So that's one of the ways we do it. We go to conference always. I mean, Joaquim knows this. I always say, read every day morning. Like, read what's going on. And so you can keep up with it.
Yeah, okay. So sorry, so continue.
No,
I do actually, Dan, I do have a question because Carlos and I know that we have a lot of different clients and we hear their challenges and we try to see how we can maybe help them with a solution we have here at the bank or with one of our partners as well. So let's just say that I don't know, I mean let's just say a distribution company, they have inventory and they need like some sort of inventory management. They also complain of having a lot of different programs that they need to use. Like, let's just say they have to clock in and out, or for payroll services or like follow-up emails. Would you be able to create something like maybe a software or maybe, let's just say, a mobile application or both, and where maybe you can help streamline and smooth out our operations on the challenges that we're having as far as the business owner?
Absolutely, Valerie. That's a great question. I'd love to answer that because that's very common to most companies that today having to use multiple softwares or applications, and those applications doesn't talk to each other. That's one of the biggest challenges we have in the industry today. So yes, we can first from a starting point of view, we can help those businesses to communicate between those applications. Number one, that's a starting point of it. Because most of the time people hate change. People don't like the staff hate change. That's how it is. So you don't want to jump into building a brand new application straight away. We always like say, how can we fix this quickly with the minimum of cost, and then let's take to the next. What's the next phase going to be? Yes, we can start there. That's number one. Number two is, if they really want to streamline with a single software, right, from end-to-end perspective, yes, we can build it from the starting point of inventory, like first in, first outs, to invoices, to bill of loading and things like that, right? Everything will be in single database feeding into the application. Also, the same application can be, right, used as a mobile app as well, from a mobile first design perspective. You don't have to build we call it sometimes Android and then iOS, which is for Apple phones and Android phones. You don't have to build those native apps. That means installable apps, so downloadable apps anymore. We can actually do a progressive web app, which called PWA. That means your web application simply become your icon on your phone. You tap on it and it'll behave like a mobile application. So we can do that, which is much more cost effective and faster and easier to build and easy to use as well. Yes, we can. Thank you, Valerie.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, I'll let you.
It's okay, but I have one more question. We were actually talking to a member yesterday afternoon, and he was looking into creating a portal that was interactive, that was not just web-based, but also Apple-friendly, not just on your laptop or desktop, but also on your mobile phone. Are you able to do custom projects based on needs so that it'll be like a membership database where you enter your info, and when they need someone in a particular area, they're able to seek them, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And thank you again for that question, Olivia. It's very interesting because we already have a client who's a startup from Alabama. And uh, I'm just trying to see how much I can share with the startup because we sign NDAs, but I'll share something about it. So it's very, very similar to what you just mentioned. So it's in the event space. So it's a portal for events. So you can create events to a lot of other things that it has a lot of features. So basically, yes, you can build a portal and give people can come in and register and generate logins for themselves. That means they have their own access. Yes, we can. And then also, it can be a subscription model to anywhere you wanted to kind of monetize it if you need to monetize. And we will make sure that the payment gateways or the payments are also embedded into the program. Of course, Bank of America can support that if from a payment gateway perspective, if that's what the client wants to go with. Or there are multiple other merchants out there, online merchants that you can use for payments as well. Also, it can be interactive. We can add chats like video call as well as, I mean, just like Zoom, we are building the same feature into this application as well right now. It's a complex application, but we can definitely build like, you know what, you don't have to use Zoom anymore. Your own portal have a video call and a video conference feature. So you don't have to
Nice.
pay for Zoom anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's models that they're basic, but everything else that you do is like I'm not too technical, but it's almost like an add-on, a plug-in. So, you start at a base price, and then the more you add, the higher it costs. So, when you're developing something, it should, if I'm developing something, I'd like to incorporate A through Z. I don't want A, B, and then add that to the cost, because when operationally speaking, you already have a set budget for that component. And when it becomes expensive, then you're really stretching. And, at what point, whatever was $1,000 is now $2,000 a month, right?
Yeah, that's very common in our industry in certain ways as well. And what we do is, unless it's a very, very, very complex project, we stick to set pricing and set timelines. So when we give you a price for a set timeline, that kind of a figure, that means we will develop this thing within 6 months for this price, unless you have other features you want to add in between. That means, of course, you have to pay a little bit more because we are working with resources. But other than that, yes, we can definitely deliver something exactly to what you mentioned and customizable. Also, we can deliver something even beyond. Thank you so much for the questions. Let's move
Yes,
into
please.
the rest of the slides as well. Artificial intelligence. We all know what's going on in the world right now with ChatGPT. Then you have Gemini, Watson, you name it. Everybody is onto AI these days. But I'm not going to talk about that today. What I'm going to tell you is that we can build AI tools, or we can call it tools, or we can build AI engines. I'll give you a simple example. Right now, we are working with a federal agency through a prime. What we are doing is basically, imagine that you upload receipts, and the receipts need to be identified in each digit. And then basically when you ask, okay, I've uploaded 100 digits, 100 receipts, can you find any receipt that's over $5,000? Can you find a receipt that has been used for first class airline ticket, or has been used for alcohol purchases or something like that? This AI engine will go and find that and bring it to you. So we are building an AI tool right like that at the moment for a federal agency. So we can do things like that. Also, we can do large language models like ChatGPT. where you have connected to a big database and you ask the tool to go and analyze something and give me an answer, just like ChatGPT. We can also use ChatGPT backend, which is we can ask ChatGPT to do the work for us, so you don't have to build something from the scratch. And then even the clients, our clients and customers says, "Oh, don't build it because it can be expensive. Can we use ChatGPT backend for that?" So we said, "Yeah, sure." So you probably have to pay something for ChatGPT just to use their technology, but it gives the same answer from our database. AI data center and infrastructure. Okay, the next big thing after AI boom, as in within the AI boom, the next big thing is going to be the infrastructure and data centers. That means why NVIDIA stocks went really up, because everyone is building data centers. That means you have a massive room with lots of servers, right, processing what you're asking to process, right? So we actually started this business in April because we got a requirement to build one of them. And now we are in business with infrastructure for data centers, especially focusing on AI, that the latest graphic cards like GPUs, that's what they call it. One of the latest ones from NVIDIA was H100N. So we can source them and place them in your data center, and we manage them. We will service them, and also we will do the administrative work on the servers as well. Data governance, this is also a huge challenge for the industries these days, because where is your data? Is it secured? How's your cybersecurity compliance look like? Or do you have any processes in place for data where it's located? So what we do is we make sure that the quality of your data and how the analytics work, where is it stored, and whether the migration, which means you're moving set of data from this server to the another server, how it's being done, is it secured? We make sure that everything that I just mentioned is intact when we deliver project. And if you have any challenges with your data and databases, we can help you to migrate to a better server. I'll give you a little example. We were with Google until start of this year, and we realized that Google have a lot of challenges in their Google have challenges these days. So, and their customer service is so bad. What we did was we moved our entire data structure and where we use and keep data to AW, which is Amazon, right? Their customers is fantastic, and their location of data centers is really good for us. So we will do these researches and analytics for our clients, and we will make sure we suggest where to lead that. Quality assurance, as I mentioned at the start of when we start talking about our services, every single thing that we do, we make sure that the quality of our delivery is high standard and we met the industry standards. So you probably see some of these words like test automation, testing, continuous integration, and continuous development environments. What does this mean? Let's say we are developing a mobile application or a web application. It doesn't matter what we build, right? We will go through rigorous testing. Each functionality and each feature is functioning and delivering the right outcomes for our clients. Before we go live, that means we are going to get it used by your users and your clients and your staff. We make sure that it works perfectly well. So that's what quality assurance and these little bullet points that you show, that we make sure that our testing is done rigorously so that it is delivering a great project and great product. This is mobile app solutions. I'm sure you guys use mobile apps every day. I don't need to go through and go and say what it does, but we can build actually there are 4 different mobile apps these days. The 2 main ones are, we call it native apps. What does it mean? That means you are designing and building this application mobile app for only Apple phones. It's called iOS. Or you're only going to build this mobile application for Android. That means Samsung and Google and everything else, right? They're called native apps. Then you're deciding, no, I want it for both, which is going to cost a bit more, but yes, you're building for that. Then came up hybrids. So there's a different language, or different, when I say language, different programming language, like you probably have heard of maybe Java, if you know what that means. If not, it's a programming language, or C++. They call it a programming language. So there are different languages that came up who can do a hybrid model, which will be cheaper. right? We can build something like that to test out that it is really a good idea and it's received well. Number 4 is called PWA. It's a progress web application. That's what we always suggest for our clients, because when you build your web application, that's going to be seen on your computer, tablet, and laptop, can be utilized the same way, same functionality, same look and feel, but as a mobile app. When you open that, it behaves like a mobile app. And you will even get a icon, like app icon on your mobile phone as well. Only thing is it won't be downloaded from either App Store or Google Store. It's going to be downloaded from your website. So you have full control. You don't need to get approval from Apple or Google for that. So that's the beauty of PWS. Having said that, I think we can build all of these and everything that I've mentioned, and also we can cater for all end-to-end digital transformation projects. We also do consulting for whether if you, let's say that you wanted to buy a software, right? You don't want to build one, you want to buy, but you don't know which one to buy and you don't know what to do with it. Just give us a call. We can help you to get the right software for you by identifying or we call it mapping your processes, right? And we'll say, don't go and buy that. It's not going to serve you so well. You better use this product. So that's our next steps. You can basically schedule a consultation or discovery call with us. There are our numbers, and they are actually both numbers you can call directly for either Joaquim or myself, and you can email to sales@jx.design, or you can go to our website, which is jxtech.ai, and also inquire within. We are always here to help you guys, and anything in the IT, anything in the digital, we are here to help you. Thank you so much for this time. Olivia and the team, Valerie, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Dan, for all the information. I know I'm a little overwhelmed, but you did clear up a couple of questions, so I appreciate that. Gabby has a question. Gabby, would you like to get on?
Thank you. Hi, Dan, here, everybody. Thank you for that information. So, I know this is a very big question, but it will be very helpful if you can give me some kind of guidance. I see the benefits of hiring a professional such as your company to help me to develop an app to help us with the process of certain things here. But is it a budget that we always have to consider? I think for a lot of small business, we always think, oh, well, this is going to cost $50,000, $45,000. Software development, we don't have that kind of budget. So is it an idea that we can get, or how do we approach that step? Like, I think that's the first step to know, can we afford this? We definitely don't want to waste the time of anybody if we cannot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabby, for your question. I would say we should never jump into any conclusion of whether it's going to be expensive or cheap until we know exactly what your requirement, what your idea is, how many things that we need to design and build into it. You really don't know what the cost is going to be. So I would recommend, do not jump into this kind of, oh my God, it's going to be expensive. You don't know that. And we can definitely tell you, like, okay, let's say your budget is $50,000 or 10,000, whatever that may be, right? We can simply say, this is the list of things you wanted to have. You can bill 70% of it or 100% of it for this budget. And we will always recommend you, okay, build that first. Go to the market and you will definitely monetize it the way you want. And those nice to haves or the rest of those features or things that you wanted to build, you can move it to the second phase of the development. So do not hold back yourself just because you think, oh my God, it's going to be expensive. Not at all.
Delicia, the question that I have, if developing a company app, does it generate more visibility in terms of prospects being able to find you online?
Yes. Simple answer to that is yes, because the things that you do within a company, not a lot of people see it because it's very internal processing. But you want to basically generate and create visibility, applying that into visibility towards your customers, clients, and even for public. having them having them to see definitely going to create so much visibility. And then I would say like it can be a marketing tool as well, because now people are engaging with you a lot more than how they do it, because we don't like getting so many emails or phone calls, right? But imagine that you ask them to engage with the system. They were like, wow, it's so easy. I don't have to call them anymore. I don't have to send an email anymore. If I really get stuck, I can actually chat with them. Hope that answers the question.
Well, on this note, I'd like to thank Dan and Joaquin, Valerie, and Carlos for the information on, whether you have a mobile app or an app that you want to create for your business. Bank of America certainly can look at that project and help fund the projects to scale. And on that note, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the leadership at the LA Latino Chamber for joining us today. Take care and have a blessed day. Thank you.